Discovery of the Ancients. The vast emptiness of space stretched before Captain Nexthar as he stood on the bridge of the astral Voyager, the Galactic Commonwealth's most advanced exploratory vessel. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of his growing impatience. The crystalline structures on his violet skin caught the light from nearby consoles, casting prismatic patterns across the deck. "Status report on the anomaly," Nexthar demanded, his voice a melodic vibration that resonated through the ship's atmosphere. Science Officer Zalvira, a slender being with translucent skin revealing pulsing bioluminescent organs, glided toward him. "Captain, the quantum signature is unlike anything recorded in Commonwealth archives. It's emanating from the third planet in this restricted system." Restricted? Nexthar's secondary antennae twitched. "By whose authority?" "Unknown, Captain. The warning beacons at the system's edge bear markings that predate the Commonwealth itself. They're estimated to be approximately 500,000 standard cycles old." The bridge fell silent. The Commonwealth, a union of 17 sentient species spanning 3 spiral arms of the galaxy, had existed for merely 30,000 cycles. "Display the warning message," Nexthar ordered. The main view screen shimmered to life, displaying symbols that scrolled endlessly, ancient glyphs that shifted and changed as if alive. "Translation matrix is struggling, Captain," reported communications specialist Eth, a hive mind collection of microscopic organisms that took a vaguely humanoid shape. "But the core message appears to be by order of the Terran Defense Initiative. Approach at your own risk. Terran." Tactical Officer Krev rumbled from his reinforced station, his massive rocky form shifting with curiosity. "Isn't that the name from the ancient myths? The species that vanished?" Nexthar's inner membranes closed over his eyes momentarily, a gesture of contemplation. The humans were little more than legends now, a spacefaring race that had supposedly expanded rapidly, engaged in some cataclysmic conflict, and then disappeared without explanation. Most serious scholars dismissed their existence as exaggerated tales from the pre-Commonwealth era. "Plot a course to the third planet," Nexthar decided. "Full sensor sweep, defensive barriers at maximum. We're making history today." As the astral Voyager approached the blue-green world, the sensors detected something unexpected: artificial satellites in decaying orbits, and beneath them, continental structures too regular to be natural formations. "Captain," Zalvira reported, her voice quavering, "I'm detecting massive power signatures awakening beneath the planet's surface. They appear to be responding to our presence." Before Nexthar could respond, the space around them distorted. A shimmering field enveloped the astral Voyager, freezing it in place. On the view screen, a figure materialized, bipedal with a uniform bearing insignia of unknown design. Though clearly a projection, its presence commanded attention. "Greetings, explorers," the figure spoke, its words automatically translated by the ship's systems. "I am Ine, Guardian Intelligence of Earth and the Sol system. You have entered a protected zone. State your purpose." Nexthar drew himself up to his full height. "I am Captain Nexthar of the Commonwealth vessel Astral Voyager. We are a peaceful exploratory mission. Are you, Karen?" The projection seemed to analyze him. "I am an artificial intelligence created by humanity, those you call Terrans, to safeguard their legacy. It has been 497,823 standard Earth years since my activation protocols were established." A collective gasp rippled through the bridge crew. The legends were true. The human species, Nexthar began cautiously. Do they still exist? "That information is classified," Ine responded. "However, your arrival is fortuitously timed. Long-range sensors have detected the return of a threat that necessitates the reactivation of the Terran Defense Fleet. Your Commonwealth may be at risk." "Defense Fleet?" Krev questioned, his stone-like features unable to hide his skepticism. "What fleet?" In response, the planet below them began to change. Across its surface, massive sections of land and sea parted, revealing cavernous bays that had lain dormant for 500,000 years. From these openings rose ships, countless vessels of various sizes, but each bearing the same sleek design and distinctive insignia. By the cosmic core, Zalvira whispered, her translucent skin paling further. There are thousands of them. Hundreds of thousands, ATHENA corrected. This is merely Earth's contingent. Mars, Venus, Luna, and the outer system bases house additional forces. The view screen shifted to show one of the larger vessels up close. It dwarfed the Astral Voyager, its hull composed of materials that seemed to absorb rather than reflect light. Weapon emplacements dotted its surface, though they were seamlessly integrated into the design, giving the vessel a predatory grace. The Indomitable class dreadnought, ATHENA explained, powered by controlled artificial singularities, armed with directed quantum disruptors, and shielded by multifaceted barriers. One such vessel could neutralize an entire Commonwealth battle group. Nexthar felt his primary heart contract. And you have 212 operational dreadnoughts in the Sol system alone, plus support craft, carriers, and planetary defense platforms. The implications were staggering. The Commonwealth's combined military forces, primarily designed for peacekeeping and border patrol, would be annihilated by even a fraction of this fleet. If humanity possessed such technology, such power, Krev asked, why did they disappear? Why abandon all this? Athena's projection flickered momentarily. They did not abandon it. They evolved beyond the need for physical vessels, most of them, at least. But they left behind safeguards, preparations for a threat they knew would one day return. What threat? Nexthar demanded. They were called many names across many worlds. Athena replied. The Void Devourers is perhaps most apt, a species that consumes the quantum energy of sapient life and civilizations. Humanity fought them to a stalemate 500,000 years ago, driving them to the edges of the known universe. But they always return. And now, they have begun their journey back. The A's projection stepped closer to Nexthar. Captain, your Commonwealth stands in their path. Alone, you will fall. But perhaps together, we might stand a chance. The fleet requires crews, biological decision-makers to complement my processing capabilities. Will you help us? Nexthar looked around at his crew, seeing in their faces a mixture of fear, awe, and determination. This discovery would change the Commonwealth forever. The legendary humans had not only existed but had created a military force beyond comprehension and left it waiting for the moment it would be needed again. We will need to consult with Commonwealth leadership, Nexthar said cautiously. This is beyond my authority to decide. Understandable, Athena acknowledged. But be aware, Captain, the Void Devourers have already consumed 3 systems at the rim of what you call Commonwealth space. Time is a luxury we no longer possess. As if to emphasize the point, dozens of the massive warships rose higher, breaking atmosphere in perfect formation, their drives igniting with blue-white energy that seemed to bend the fabric of space around them. The defense fleet awakens, Athena stated. After 500,000 years of dormancy, humanity's legacy prepares for war once more. The question remains, will your people stand with us, or fall alone? Nexthar watched as the ships assembled in Earth orbit, a display of power unlike anything the Commonwealth had ever known. The decision he made now would determine the fate of 17 species and countless worlds. Open a priority channel to Commonwealth Central, he ordered ETH, and inform ATHENA. We will need a full briefing on these Void Devourers. If war is coming, we need to know our enemy. As communications specialist ETH established the connection, Nexthar couldn't help but wonder, had they discovered humanity's legacy, or had humanity's legacy discovered them, precisely when needed most? Legacy of the stars. 3 Commonwealth cycles later, equivalent to roughly 2 Earth months. The Sol system had transformed from a forbidden zone to the heart of the greatest military mobilization in known history. Over 200 Commonwealth vessels now orbited Earth, their crews training alongside Athena's robotic auxiliaries to master technologies 500,000 years beyond their understanding. Grand Admiral Thelcora, Supreme Commander of Commonwealth Forces, stood beside Captain Nexthar in the observation deck of Terran Station Alpha, watching as alien crews struggled to adapt to human weapon systems. "Your discovery has upended everything, Captain," Thelcora said, her scale-covered form shifting colors with her mood. Currently a deep, troubled blue. The Commonwealth Council debates endlessly while our border worlds go dark. 17 have fallen since your initial report. Nexthar's antennae drooped slightly. The Void Devourers move faster than Athena predicted. Their evolution has accelerated during their exile. Below them, in a massive training bay, Commonwealth soldiers attempted to synchronize with neural interfaces designed for human minds. Many collapse from the strain, their bodies rejecting the alien connections. "We're learning too slowly," Thelcora observed. "These ships require human operators to function at full capacity, yet humans are gone. Ascended, if Athena is to be believed." "Not entirely gone," came a voice behind them. They turned to find Athena's holographic form, now accompanied by another projection, this one appearing as an older human male, with silver hair and wearing what appeared to be an ancient military uniform. Admiral Marcus Chen, the new hologram introduced itself, or rather, a quantum echo of him, preserved within Athena's memory cores. Thelcora's scales shifted to alarmed orange. "Another eye." "Not exactly," Chen explained. "When humanity faced the choice between ascension and maintaining vigilance, some of us chose a middle path. We imprinted our consciousness patterns, our memories, experiences, personalities, into Athena's matrix, to be awakened if the Void Devourers ever returned." "How many such imprints exist?" Nexthar asked. 10,000, Chen answered. "The best military minds, scientists, and strategists humanity had to offer. Not truly alive, but more than simple programs. We can guide your people, teach them to use our technology effectively." Thelcora's scales rippled with skepticism. "And we're to trust these echoes? For all we know, humanity created the Void Devourers or provoked their aggression." Chen's hologram showed no offense at the accusation. "The Devourers existed long before humanity achieved spaceflight. They are consumption embodied, a species that evolved to feed on the quantum patterns generated by sapient thought. They don't hate, Admiral. They hunger. And your Commonwealth is their next meal." As if summoned by his words, alarms blared throughout the station. Athena's form flickered as she processed incoming data. "Void Devourer Advance Fleet detected," she announced. 97 vessels approaching the Proxima Centauri Gateway. Estimated arrival in Sol system. 6 hours. So soon. Thelcora's scales paled to white. "Our crews aren't ready." "Then we adapt," Chen stated firmly. "Athena, initiate Protocol Lazarus." The AI hesitated, a strange behavior for such an advanced system. "Admiral, Protocol Lazarus was designed as a last resort. The energy requirements alone." "Will be met," Chen interrupted. "The Commonwealth forces can protect the solar collectors while the process completes." Nexthar looked between them, confused. "What is Protocol Lazarus?" Chen turned to face him, his holographic eyes showing a depth of purpose that seemed too real for a mere program. "Captain, humanity didn't just leave behind ships and weapons. We left behind vessels of another kind, bodies, genetically engineered to house consciousness, placed in stasis. Emergency containers for human minds, should we ever need to return to physical form." "You're going to resurrect humans?" Thelcora asked incredulously. "Not resurrection," Chen corrected. "Transfer. Many who ascended left behind quantum connections to these vessels. Athena will send the call. And those who choose to answer will download a portion of their consciousness into physical form once more. How many could return? Nexthar questioned. Unknown, Atena replied. The call has never been sent before. The process requires tremendous energy and carries significant risk to both the ascended consciousness and the receiving vessel. Chen's hologram smiled grimly. But if even a fraction respond, we'll have experienced human crews to pilot the most powerful warships in the fleet. It's our best chance. 4 hours later, Nexthar stood on the bridge of the Commonwealth flagship alongside Admiral Thelcora, watching as massive solar collectors unfurled around Earth, drawing power from the sun at an unprecedented rate. Beneath them, deep in hardened bunkers around the planet, thousands of preservation chambers hummed with energy. Energy collection at 87% of required threshold. Atena reported, her projection now visible on every ship in the combined fleet. Quantum resonance chambers activating. Thelcora turned to Nexthar. If this fails, Captain, we face the Void Devourers with half-trained crews and technology we barely understand. Before Nexthar could respond, Athena's voice changed, becoming somehow more vibrant, more alive. First responses detected. Consciousness transfer initiating. On the view screen, they watched as preservation chambers throughout Earth's facilities began to open, revealing humanoid forms stirring to life after 500,000 years of dormancy. Medical drones swarmed around them, providing support as they took their first breaths. By the cosmic core, Thelcora whispered, they're actually returning. 117 successful transfers, Atena reported. 243 in progress. 512 responses confirmed and awaiting transfer. The numbers continued to climb. Not the thousands they had hoped for, but hundreds, perhaps 1,000 by the time the process completed. A skeleton crew for the massive fleet, but each one a volunteer who had chosen to return to physical form, to fight once more. 3 hours later, as the Void Devourer fleet emerged from the Proxima Centauri gateway, they were met not by unprepared aliens struggling with unfamiliar technology, but by the coordinated might of humanity's defense fleet. Each capital ship commanded by a human who had once faced this enemy before. The first battle was swift and decisive. The Void Devourers, expecting easy prey, encountered weapons specifically designed to counter their quantum-absorbing abilities. 37 enemy ships were destroyed for the loss of only 3 human vessels. But it was only the vanguard. Long-range sensors detected the main Devourer fleet, thousands strong, approaching from multiple vectors. In the aftermath of the initial engagement, Nexthar and Thelcora were summoned to the Indomitable, now the flagship of the reborn human fleet. On its bridge stood a woman, physically appearing in her 40s, with dark skin and silver-streaked black hair, wearing the uniform of a Terran admiral. Admiral Sophia Reyes. She introduced herself, her voice carrying the weight of centuries of existence. Formerly of the Terran Ascended Collective, now commanding the defense fleet. You sacrifice your ascension to return, Thelcora observed. Reyes shook her head. Not a sacrifice, a division. What you see before you is but a fragment of my consciousness, enough to operate in physical space, to command this fleet, to fight. The greater part of me remains among the ascended. How many returned? Nexthar asked. 973, Reyes answered. Enough to command our capital ships and coordinate your Commonwealth forces. But the coming battle will require more than ships and weapons. It will require understanding. She gestured, and a holographic display appeared, showing the Void Devourer's home dimension, a place of swirling energy patterns and quantum fluctuations. They don't want your planets or resources, she explained. They feed on consciousness itself, the quantum patterns generated by sapient thought. 500,000 years ago, humanity discovered how to ascend to a similar state of existence. In doing so, we became both their perfect prey and their most dangerous adversary. You fought them on their own terms, Thelcora realized. Yes, and now we must do so again. Reyes turned to face them fully. Your Commonwealth forces will engage their physical vessels. Meanwhile, those of us who have returned will execute a more esoteric strategy. What do you need from us? Nexthar asked. Trust, Rais said simply. And time. The Devourer's main fleet will arrive in 3 days. We must be ready. When the massive Void Devourer Armada arrived, the combined human Commonwealth fleet waited in formation. But as the battle began, something unexpected happened. The human-commanded vessels positioned themselves in precise geometric patterns throughout the solar system, creating a three-dimensional lattice of quantum resonance. What are they doing? Thelcora demanded as her ships engaged the outer edge of the Devourer fleet. Nexthar, watching from his position coordinating the Commonwealth's scientific vessels, suddenly understood. They're creating a bridge. Throughout the solar system, the human ships began to glow with impossible energy. From each vessel extended tendrils of quantum light, connecting to form a vast network. And through this network poured what could only be described as consciousness made manifest, the ascended human collective, returning not to physical form but as pure quantum will. The effect on the Void Devourers was immediate and devastating. Their ships began to dissolve, their energy-based technology turning against them as the ascended humans engaged them on a level beyond physical space. They're fighting in dimensions we can't perceive, Zalvira reported, her instruments overwhelmed by the readings. The quantum substrate itself is being rewritten. The battle lasted 12 hours by standard measurement, though time itself seemed distorted around the engagement. When it ended, the Void Devourer fleet was gone, not destroyed in the conventional sense, but unraveled, their consciousness-based existence reformatted into harmless energy. In the aftermath, Admiral Rais met with the Commonwealth leadership aboard Terran Station Alpha. Her physical form showed signs of strain, the transfer of such vast energies having taken its toll. The threat is contained, she informed them. The Ascended Collective has established quantum barriers throughout this galaxy that will prevent the Devourers from returning for at least several million years. And what of humanity? Thelcora asked. Will you reclaim your place in the physical universe? Rais smiled. Some of us will remain in these forms, to serve as liaisons between the Commonwealth and the Ascended Collective. The defense fleet will stand down but remain ready, a legacy and a promise. The rest will return to the Collective, to continue our own journey of evolution. She turned to Nexthar. Captain, when you first entered this system, you sought knowledge of an ancient species. Instead, you found living allies and a shared future. The Commonwealth has proven itself worthy of joining a larger community. There are others like you, Nexthar asked, his 4 eyes widening. Many, Rais confirmed. Ascended species who have chosen observation over interaction. Your Commonwealth's courage in facing the Void Devourers has earned their notice and their respect. As the meeting concluded, Nexthar stood at the observation window, watching as most of the massive defense fleet returned to its underground berths, not dismantled or decommissioned, but waiting, a safeguard against future threats, maintained by those humans who had chosen to remain in physical form. Beside him, Admiral Rais gazed at the stars with eyes that had seen them both as a human and as something beyond. 500,000 years ago, she said quietly, we feared that ascension meant abandoning our responsibility to the younger races that would follow. So we left behind this fleet, these weapons, these fragments of ourselves, just in case. We never imagined that in doing so, we would help forge a bond between physical and ascended existence that might last eons. Nexthar's antennae quivered with emotion. The Commonwealth owes humanity a debt we can never repay. Rais shook her head. Not a debt, Captain. A partnership. After all, despite our apparent differences, we share the same fundamental truth. Which is? She smiled, looking at once ancient and newborn. Consciousness, in whatever form it takes, is the universe's most precious creation, and it will always be worth fighting for. As the defense fleet settled back into its long vigil and the Commonwealth began integrating the revolutionary technologies humanity had shared, A new era dawned for the galaxy, one where the line between myth and reality, between past and future, had been forever blurred by the legacy of a species that had refused to truly disappear. The humans had not vanished. They had evolved, ascended, and when needed most, returned, a revelation that would resonate through the Commonwealth for millennia to come.